not considered muktzeh. Okay. Now, who comes according to this? If we say that if snow and rain is not muktzeh, so then what's going to be with shoveling on Shabbat? Let's say it snows on Shabbat and we want to shovel. You're allowed to shovel and move it to the side if it's blocking your way or it's dangerous to walk. So therefore, you're allowed to move it, and it's not considered moving muktzeh. Number 3, you're allowed to make ice cubes on Shabbat. Take a tray, fill it with water, put it in the freezer, and make ice. And that's not considered nolad, that you're creating ice on Shabbat. It is mutar. Number 4, water that drips out of AC is considered muktzeh. So let's say a person put a bucket and it's catching a drip from AC, from air conditioning. That bucket with that water is now muktzeh, and you're not allowed to move it. Sometimes we have in the shul, sometimes even, where randomly the roof is dripping. So the people put a garbage container to catch this drip. This drip is also muktzeh. Now afterwards we cannot move it unless Goy maybe moves it, but we cannot move it because that water in that bucket is muktzeh. Okay, fine. Then we have 6. Where's an area? Eggs laid by a chicken on Shabbat is considered nolad, and that's muktzeh. So therefore, even if one egg becomes mixed in with other eggs, all the eggs may not be used on Shabbat because it's davar sheish lo matirin, and you have to wait till after Shabbat to use the eggs. What about safek? Even safek, you're not allowed to use it on Shabbat. So let's say, I don't know if this egg was laid on Shabbat or not. You have to be machmir and not use it. Okay, good. Now, what about nolad and Yom Tov? In some ways, Muktzeh and Yom Tov is more strict than Muktzeh and Shabbat. Why? Since Yom Tov we're allowed to do things for cooking and preparation for Yom Tov purposes, so Chachamim had to beef up the prohibitions of Muktzeh more, because by Yom Tov people tend to be more lenient than Shabbat. So number 7, one of the ways that Muktzeh is more strict on Yom Tov than Shabbat is nolad. So for example, something was laid eggs on Yom Tov or freshly produced milk, it's Muktzeh both on Shabbat and Yom Tov. However, things that were already in existence before Shabbat or Yom Tov and changed and assumed a new form on Shabbat or Yom Tov, it's permitted on Shabbat, but it's forbidden on Yom Tov. So, for example, we had a case where the guy had grapes, right? The grapes became raisins, right, on Shabbat. So on Shabbat, that way, if he had in mind that it's going to be ready on Shabbat, so it's not going to be Muktzeh on Shabbat, but on Yom Tov it'll still be Muktzeh, because Muktzeh is stronger on Yom Tov than on Shabbat. Okay, let's say food that is originally for humans, and then it changed and only became fit for animals. It's considered Muktzeh on Yom Tov, but not on Shabbat. Here, so let's say you have leftover chicken, bones, or meat bones, or leftover nuts. So those things animals eat, but a human will not eat them, right? That's it. That's considered garbage for us. On Shabbat, it's non-muktzeh because you could give it to animal. On Yom Tov, it's considered muktzeh. So you see, just because it could be fed to animals, that's only leniency by Shabbat. By Yom Tov, it's more strict because of this extra emphasis that they gave to muktzeh on Yom Tov. Good. We're moving on to bitul kli mechano, and that's it. We finished the laws of muktzeh b'ezrat Hashem. Then we're going to move on to sick people on Shabbat. And nobody should be sick, b'ezrat Hashem. Number 1, it is prohibited to place muktzeh in a vessel that was permitted to use. By putting the muktzeh into the vessel, it nullifies a state of preparedness and makes the vessel muktzeh as well. It's considered like destroying it, or it's considered like boneh. So I have a muktzeh item, and I'm putting it into a non-muktzeh item on Shabbat. I'm not allowed to do that. So let's say I was, for some reason, I was able to pick up the muktzeh on Shabbat. Or let's say I did the Yisur. Somebody picked it up even though they weren't supposed to. Now they want to put it down. And they put it down in a bowl. A bowl that we could have used before. It's a Sur. They just nullified this vessel from being used. And that's an Isur on its own right. To make a bowl that was non-muktzeh, to make it muktzeh, because now it's going to carry muktzeh. That itself is a prohibition on Shabbat. Number 2, one may not place a vessel under a lamp of fire on Shabbat to catch the dripping oil, because now you're going to make that bowl catch the oil, which is muktzeh. However, you're allowed to put the vessel under the lamp erev Shabbat. You can't do it on Shabbat. Okay. Number 5, items that are disposable are not considered a problem in this prohibition. For example, you're allowed to put a dirty diaper in a plastic bag, even though the bag now is going to become unusable. That's mutar, right? It's all disposable. Plastic bags are meant to be disposable. Okay, number 6, it's permitted to use a utensil to catch a muktzeh item if one places a non-muktzeh item of greater importance into the utensil. So let's say you want to put the bones of the shells on the table. You want to put it into a plate, so you can take the plate and throw it out. The plate, let's say, is not a disposable plate. Let's say it's a real plate, a porcelain plate, right? So what happens? You're putting muktzeh onto a plate, and now the plate is becoming muktzeh also. That's not allowed. So what do? I first put edible piece of food. I put some other item that's non-muktzeh on the plate first, and then I put the muktzeh items on top of it. So now the plate is a base for both permitted and non-permitted, and it doesn't become muktzeh. So therefore, that's how you avoid that issue. Okay, now when we're talking about muktzeh, it means muktzeh machmat gufo, things that have no use on Shabbat. Kli shachtol yisur, things that you do forbidden actions with, like scissors, a pan, a hammer, all those things, putting it into a bowl, putting it into a vessel, doesn't make it muktzeh 100%, because you could still move it for the tzarech gufo, the tzarech mekomo, if you need the place, or you're going to do something permitted with it. So therefore, it's not considered under this prohibition, bitukli me'echano. It's only when you put a rock, or you put a money, or you put something that cannot be moved whatsoever into a bowl. But a pen or a hammer, that doesn't apply. Okay, good. Number 9, it's permitted to put a vessel under a flame in order to catch the sparks. Number 10, you're allowed to add water to a fish tank on Shabbat or Yom Tov if the fish need fresh water, even though it makes the water undrinkable once you put it into the tank. Number 11, one may place a permitted item on top of muktzeh in order to protect or hide the muktzeh item. Let's say there's a muktzeh item and I don't want anybody to take it, so I put a bowl on top of it. Right? Mr. Badal's case we always talk about is the money. He found a stack of $500 bills on Shabbat. So he can't pick it up, he can't move it. So he wants to take a bowl and put it on top of the 500 so nobody should see it. Everybody should pass by, oh, it's just a bowl, whatever it is. So that's not called you're nullifying the bowl, because the bowl is not holding the muktzeh. The bowl is over the muktzeh. The bowl doesn't become muktzeh. The bowl you can always take off, right? So therefore, that'll be a case where the money on top, not allowed, but bowl on top, you're allowed.
Can he push the bowl?
Can he push the bowl? Maybe with his foot, with his foot. Mr. Badal said you should stand on the money and wait till Shabbat is over. Kak svechka, stay over there till Shabbat. Yeah, maybe bring the minyan to you. Anybody who joins me for a minyan will be nicely rewarded. Baruch Adonai Olam.